Hi, Kathy here from Kathy's Cute Creations. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit different of a video. The last two videos that I did when I showed you the abstract square and then the square, the same design but a different layout on it, I did a little bit extra binding, quilting, and stuff like that I didn't actually put in the originals because I was trying to make them short videos. They were over 30 minutes a piece. I knocked them down to 8 minutes, but I didn't want to waste all that extra stuff. So what I've gone and done is I went back, took and showed in this video here, I'm showing the quilting on the little mug rug, which is this here. I'm showing you, whoops, how I quilted that. Then I'm showing you the binding on this one here. That's the binding that I did on it. And then just how I did a little bit on this one here. Okay, so I'm starting out with the quilting first, and then I go to the binding. I think this is going to be about like 30 minutes or so. But this is what the mug rug turned out to be like. And let me tell you, you probably are wondering what size it is. So it is a 10.5 by 7.5. Now I cut, which you can see with pinking shears around this one. I did not put the binding on it. This binding, I used the same fabric, the little stars right here. This is the fabric I used. Plus I added on this little strip right here, just this little spot right here, has got that purple on it because I need a little bit extra. I ran out of the fabric. Then on the other one, I used the same fabric, which is this dark purple here. That's the fabric that I used because I had enough for it and I didn't have to add anything else to it. Alrighty, so I will go ahead and show you. I'm going to lay them down here. Now keep in mind, not the mug rug, but the others are from the same exact pattern. Okay, so this is the one that I'm giving to my friend. And that I'm calling an abstract. This one is the one I'm taking it to work and hanging it. And then this is her mug rug. Alrighty, let's start with the video. What I decided to do is I'm not going to quilt it like I would where I drop my feed dogs. I'm going to do some straight line quilting on it. So all that is straight stitches, or I could use other stitches. I'm just watching what I'm doing, going right in the seam area. I went ahead and I chose purple thread, which I think she'll like, and then I made my stitch longer. So I just have to concentrate and keep on the color I'm on. There we go. And so all I did was came in on the end down here, came up, I'll come all the way down to here and then go back off that way. Nothing fancy, it just holds the stitches down, that's all. Follow my fabric pattern, there we go. Now of course it doesn't need to be stitched this tight, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, and then all I'll do is I'll come off onto this fabric right here, and then I'll just go ahead and back stitch it and have it lock while it's off of this. Now I went down here, crossed, and down. And you know I'm going to go all the way around when I'm finished. So now I'm just going to go over to this green, or actually, I'm going to come along the right-hand side of this. So let me put it out here. Almost it out in the alley out here. So, there we go. And this comes straight down. This way you can spread it apart and tug on it a little bit. And like I said, I don't have anything holding it down. I didn't spray it or anything. It's just sitting on top of this batting. So I can smooth it out as I go. So someone asked me what I was reading. And I'm still reading the Stephanie Bond book, the daily chapter she's putting out. I haven't even read today's yet. Okay, so I'm going to do what I did before, so I'm going to go ahead and come on this. And then from there, and you can, since I don't have anything special going on, you can go all over this thing. There's no rhyme or reason, like you got to stay in one area. That don't make any difference. We need to go one more time. There we go. Straight down here. And I'm just following whatever the fabric is doing. There we go. Let's go back down here. I'll show it to you here in a minute. Do I have one more stitch in me? I don't know. Let's just manually do it, just in case. I do not have another stitch, so there we go. There we go. And now I'm actually going to take it and go from this side down. Instead of down this direction, I'm coming back up this direction, which will even it out a little bit. It won't have so much pulling going on. At least I hope it won't. Let's put it that way. My hand don't get too much. And I'm trying to keep it as close to that edge as I can. I didn't come over a 1/4 inch or, you know, didn't measure it. I'm just trying to stay right along that seam line. To the edge, and then take a look at it and see what else do I want to do. I think I want to go ahead and, since it's already on this, I will come down on here. So I'm going to go ahead and come down, and then what I'll do is, because I don't want to be back stitching, I will I'll change my, so right now I'm on a straight stitch, and on my machine, number 3 goes backward and forward. Number 4 is a straight stitch, but when it locks itself into place, it just goes straight up and down. So this way you could tie it off in the back if you wanted to. So I switched it over, and I'll go up one, and then when I hit my return, it just goes in one spot. And then if I want to lock it again, I just come forward one time, I do it again. So it's sort of like a double lock. It just makes me feel more comfortable. And it didn't switch anything. Oh, it did actually. It went back down in my length, so I'm going back up. I think I had a 3 on there. That's one thing when you change stuff, it changes your length and width and everything else. Well, my width doesn't make a difference with this one, because this isn't a, you know, of course when I was doing the batting, I was literally going back and forth for the zigzag, so when I changed it, I had to turn around and redo it, because I went on a 6 for my width, and I think it's set at a 4 when it starts out, but I wanted it bigger. And I didn't go the largest width, because I think my width, the largest is a 7. There we go. Now I'm thinking that I probably maybe ought to go ahead and do a stitch down here. Let me just go all the way around it. I guess I could just do that. I'm trying to think, do I want to do a zigzag, or do I just want to do a straight stitch all the way around there? Maybe I just ought to do some I could do some cross stitch. Well, I could actually, I'm trying to think if I want to drop my feed dogs and do meandering or go across it. That's a lot of stitching back and forth if I don't do meandering. I'll have to drop my feed dogs to do that. Let me do a practice sheet because I never just do it on the sheet. I've always got to get this a practice. If I can find my, here we go. Here's my practice sheet that I do it on. So I'm going to practice it and then I'll be right back for you. Alrighty, it's ready to go. Let me get you a little closer here. And the thing is, when you do this, if you haven't done this before, and you've set up your machine based on whatever you do, you want to make sure that you put your foot down, put your thread down, but pull your thread back up. Yep, mine didn't work that time. All right, let's put it back down. I'm trying to bring my bobbin thread up, which is right here, right there, and you pull it up so that it doesn't get hung up in the bottom, because now you are freely moving your machine. Your machine is not moving for you. So normally what I do is I will go in place right where that came up. Now my back is white, not purple, just so you know. And then I go around like this. And my biggest hang up is these corners right here, because it doesn't want to stay down and then you'll have a jam on your hands. So I try to hold it. I'll go in it. And get back out of it. There we go. Now you can go over your thread if you want. Me, I don't want to. I prefer to not go over my thread. You can call this roving. You call it anything you want. Meandering. It's just making a fancy wiggle circle design. You can make, usually when I do this is when I make my hearts, my blooms. In this case it would be a star. I think, there we go. And then if you feel like you need gloves, that's fine. You can have gloves on. I'm gonna put this thing down. I don't need it right now. And then I move it around with my fabric here. That's how I'm moving it. And I try not to go too fast. I don't want to break a needle, although I shouldn't, because this is pretty easy here. And there's a whole bunch of different kind of feet. This is actually quite soothing, believe it or not. I hope my hands aren't in the way. Turn it this way, and the reason being, if you see these little ends of my foot, I don't want it to get underneath here and pull on it. So I'm trying to make sure that that's not going to happen. There we go. The corner there. Because that has happened before on me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go right off and lock it right there. Okay. Then I'm going to come over here on the other side. Oh, crap. I had a hold of it too tight. All right, now I got to change my needle because I just busted it. Alrighty, I have it back together again. And I didn't even realize it. I hadn't even lost the needle. It was still up in the darn, I don't know what you call that thing. Anyway, I don't know what I'm thinking. All right, let's. Okay, there it is. Oh, that little booger is hard. I know there's not much thread left because when I went to test it, it said my thread's almost gone. I think there's enough that'll last to do this little strip right here. Okay, let's see now. It's funny, the tension actually changed and everything. That was kind of weird. I'm not quite sure why. Let's see if it works. Oh, I know why. Because I didn't engage. And you probably heard it. Hopefully it didn't make a mess underneath there. We're going to find out here in a minute. Nope, it didn't. I didn't engage this foot. That was my problem. Because every time you put a different foot on this machine, you have to engage whatever that foot is. So just so you know, that's the way this machine works. And when I engage the foot, this foot here is made to work without a feed dog, so it automatically drops the feed dog. All right, let me get my tool again so I don't lose that corner. There we go. Okay. My hand's gonna get in the way. I did change out my needle. Of course, you can move your little quilt or whatever you're making all over the place because it's not being controlled by your feed dog. You're actually controlling it. I'm trying to make this stippling the same size as the other side. And I do have the speed has been adjusted on this, so I don't have it so that it'll go the fastest speed nor the slowest. It's sort of out in the middle. Not all machines have that. This one does. I think only 2 of my machines have this. I'm not sure if my other machine has it. It does have a little indicator light though if my bobbin gets low. This one just tells you, it makes little noises. It doesn't have an indicator light of any sort. I don't know when that thing happened, you know, when they created that on a sewing machine. Every time they do something, they try to put another little gadget of some sort to help us out. I mean, that's pretty good. I didn't know that was on the first machine that I bought. And that one was bought back in, ooh, I want to think 1990 something. I don't know if it was like 98. It might even been before that, actually. I was trying to think where I bought it from. I think I bought it from a quilt shop back in Springfield when I lived back there. It took me a long time to save up the money for that machine. I think that machine was close to like $1,000. They had all the bells and whistles on it. And I didn't have a machine with bells and whistles at the time. All right, finishing up right here. There we go. Let's take a look at it. Thinking about putting an X. Let me change out this foot though, because I can't do it with this foot on if I'm going to do straight stitching. I'd have to do a lot of stitching to do a straight line, because I'm not used to doing my straight lines freehand. Okay, let's take that off. Let's put this one back on. And hope I don't have that screw out enough, do I? Gosh, I hate to take that part to get. There we go. If my hand was any bigger, I couldn't get it in there. I already need a different kind of screwdriver. I don't know where's my screwdriver at. I don't even, here we go. I can't get my knuckle up there. There we go. Okay, that one's a lot better. I interchange all these things, screwdrivers and everything. Whatever fits is what I'm using. All right, so let me go back to my regular foot here. So now my feed dogs came up, and let me pull my thread out. Alrighty, so I'm just going to put an X. So I'll start over here, in the corner here. If I can see the corner here. And we put it on the straight stitch. And I'm going to go up to about 4.0. And we're going to see how that works. Now I am going to try to come straight down here. I don't think that'll be an issue. I don't know if I want to come and make a total X or just come this way. I don't know. I do not know. I'm going to flip this over on the back side. I'm going to show you what it looks like too. Let's go one time. Alright, what did I do? Whoops, I bumped that darned thing for some reason. What the heck? I guess my finger must have tapped it. That's kind of weird. Okay. That's going to have a curve in it. Yeah, that don't look too bad. I'm going to leave it just like that. It looks like a big old gigantic V. Alrighty. Let's take a look at it. Here it is before I cut it. So there's the meandering. And you can barely see the stitches on it. Up here it got way off the line. You can see that stitch. Let's take a look at the back. Here's what the back looks like. Like I said, it was white. Well, it's actually nylon on the back. That's what the thread is. Polyester nylon. Okay, there's her mug rug finished, and now I'm going to work on quilting her little square. So I have it finished. Here it is quilted. I have these strips cut. Now I cut 4 of these. I don't know if it'll be enough, so I went ahead and cut this one just for extras. And I have all my fabric cut out to work on my square. So I'm going to put the binding on this first and then start on my square. So I'm sewing this along and I'm thinking to myself, what if somebody does not know how I do this? Or what if they want a different way from the way they've learned how to do it? I'm going to show you how I find when I put my binding on, how easy it is for me to do it this way versus the way that I used to do it when I first started out. So I just go ahead and I begin like in the middle. So I just start and I start sewing down. I keep the open edge of the fabric along with the edge of the fabric, and I will just come down my 1/4 of an inch, and then what I'll do is about this distance I will take my binding strip and I will take it back and I will fold it on itself as if it was going to come off of this end right here, because I want to put a crease right there. So all I did was fold that back. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it back towards the next part that I'm going to be doing binding, so that I can line it up against the edge of my fabric on the right hand side, which is where I'm sewing down, because I want to get a crease where these 2 pieces actually folded over. So if you want to see this a little bit closer, let me change my camera angle. So first I'm going to act as if I haven't done anything. So if I'm just coming down here, I stop, I fold this back like this. And it's got such a long tail on, it's going to be, there we go. I fold it back like that. I get it down here to the edge, right here. I put a crease in it. Then I fold it over on itself like this. Line it up, just like I was going to sew it right here. And put my thumb, you can use your tool. I'm trying to think, I don't have the tool that I would have liked to have showed you what I'm using. I can use this tool right here. So all you would do is crease it, because this is where the fold is, okay? Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and open it back up, and I'm gonna sew down to the corner here at 1/4 inch all the way down. Then I'm gonna come right off of here, and I'm gonna take it off and separate it. Then I'm going to flip it and start it over. So I will show you that here. See that I came down here and it came right off the edge. Now I'm going to take this and put it back over just like it was before. Okay, redo my crease, make sure it's correct, and then come over like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn. Let me back up a bit. Hold my chair and I couldn't move. So I'm folding it like this. Now, right here where I have it, I'm going to turn it just like this. I'm going to put it up underneath here, and here's my 1/4 inch right there. I line it up. Let me see if that's going to be correct. I put my needle down. It's not going to come in. I'm trying to look for it to come to this crease right here. Let me see if I can. My thing here is very, very awkward. Okay, so what I'm trying to do this not only left-handed, but so that it works. So I'm trying to get my 1/4 inch lined up. Let me back up a little bit here. I want my camera to be in focus. And it says, you're too close. So I go down. That's not quite it. I gotta go further down. Now keeping in mind, I haven't locked it in place or anything, so if I lift up my needle, it'll come out of the spot. So I'm gonna look underneath here, and yes, I can see it. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me come down with my, so it is actually on the little, right here, which you can barely see, but you can see it. It's on the line here. So I will put my foot down, and then I'm gonna go ahead and sew up here. I'll line up my fabric, of course, because it's off a little bit. I'll line it up and sew this down. Start it out here, and then I'll go ahead and I'll lock it into place. And then I'll just start sewing it right down here. Just like this until I get to the next end, and I'll do the same thing. And I'll show you that corner that I just did when I get finished here at the next one when I remove it. Try to keep it at my 1/4 inch. Just don't pull your fabric too taut. You know, get a little bit taut, but not so that you stretch it. You don't want to stretch it because it'll create a wavy edge on it. And if you stop every now and then, you can adjust your fabric if it needs it, because, you know, sometimes it rolls on you. All right, and I'm about far enough to. And if you need to, when I was first starting out, I pinned it like this to hold it down right there before I was going to bend it over. I think I'm going to run out of, oops, I came up too high. I think I'm running out of binding here. Might have to put another strip on there. Okay, come up to this. That's about right there. Make my crease. Come back this way. Make it again. Take that out. That was my pin holding it. Make sure it's correct. And my fingernail works pretty good. It's not very big, but good enough to. Now we'll come to the end. Down here. Right there. Let's see if I got one more. There we go. Whoops. Turn it and come off, and then I will go ahead. You don't have to, but I like to lock it just to be safe. There we go. I'll show you what the end looks like. Where I came off the end, right there. And here's where I started it back up on the other side, right there. There it is, all quilted. The back side of it. And the front side. And here is her matching mug rug. Right there. And now I'm going to start working on my square. There's mine, and now you can see more of the pattern, although I did still change it some because I wanted to have these right here go outward instead of inward, which is what it did on the last one. So it turned out really, really good. I really like it. So now I'm going to, look at this. Nap in peace. Isn't that cute? I just now noticed that. So I'm gonna go ahead and quilt this one. Finish it. There it is. That is it. I did the serpentine, as you can see, right up the lines there. And then I did some little like chicken scratch along the edges. So that's the one that I'm gonna have at work in my little hanging thing. That's really, really nice. Okay, if you guys like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you haven't joined, join. I'm thinking about doing some little short videos of little tips and tricks, because I've discovered that there's quite a few, and I had some that are in here, but I really didn't mention them, but I could just make little things up and then give you the tip. So I'll think about that, and then we'll see how that goes. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye.